morning, everyone. My name is Francia. Welcome to our Sunday morning Vinyasa class. We're actually going to start today in a child's pose. So let's come ahead and come onto our hands and knees. And we'll begin our class grounding through the fronts of our bodies. So we're going to separate our knees fairly wide, even wider than maybe perhaps feels comfortable for you at first, because we want to start to feel that opening in the hips. And we're going to settle the hips all the way down, and then we're going to relax the elbows down to the mat, and just allow yourself a moment to maybe just gently move forward and back. So when we start our Vinyasa practices in a static pose, like what we're doing now, you want to feel that you are moving into it with ease and with comfort. So again, maybe just a little bit of curling, moving, allowing yourself to settle in. And then you can get the forehead or the top of the head onto the mat. The arms can relax in this first pose. So the big toes are touching. Your hips are relaxing down onto the heels, and the shoulders are softly moved away from the ears. If your arms feel like they are supporting too much weight, slide them a little closer to your body so that you can feel yourself settled, your weight centered into the mat, from the forehead to the knees, the shins, the feet, and even the forearms and the hands. You can also bring your hands back behind you, but that's going to put a little bit more pressure onto the forehead. So if that doesn't feel quite nice or right for you today, just bring the arms forward. We're going to breathe here for a few moments, kind of just surrendering to the shape we're creating. Let the shoulders be soft. Allow your breath to start to move in an effortless fashion. Attempting to breathe only through the nostrils, if it's possible. See if you can manage that movement of in-breath through the whole body. So feel your rib cage, your chest, your middle back, your upper back, your shoulders rise and expand with the in-breath. And then allow them to relax and softly melt down into the mat with the out-breath. We'll do one more deep breath here. Exhale completely. With the next in-breath, wherever your arms are, let's extend them forward. Reach them towards the top of the mat. Keep your forehead down. Maybe even keep your eyes closed or gazing towards the tip of the nose. Just find yourself in the extended version of the posture here, putting a little bit more pressure into the hands, or you can also come into the fingertips to add a little bit more reach into the shoulders. And again, we'll hold here just a few breaths. Inhale. Exhale, releasing, softening. Inhale, expanding and growing. Exhaling, surrendering down, letting your weight just sink. One more breath. And exhale completely. Bring the palms down, slide the elbows in. Start to lift the head for a moment. Come back to where we started. With the forearms on the floor, the chest lifted, the shoulders back, opening through the heart space. And then inhale, press yourself up. If it's okay for you, come into this kind of kneeling position, sitting onto your heels. So what we'll do here is we're going to bring the knees together, fingertips next to you, and then gently bring the knees together. Let the feet kind of relax down and sit back down onto the heels. All right, if this is not comfortable, just the normal cross-legged position is fine. Let's inhale, draw the arms up, open the shoulders back, lift the chest, lift the rib cage, reach to the fingertips. Try to straighten your arms if it's at all possible. So if your elbows are bending out to the side, that's okay. But draw the elbows in towards each other and then reach to the fingertips. Let's just keep the gaze forward or slightly down. And sorry about all the dogs. They'll find their spot soon. Dina found her spot behind me. Hopefully she'll be fine as we move. So as you reach to the fingertips, keep elongating, keep reaching, keep lengthening. Start to fire up the upper back, the shoulders, and the core. One more deep breath. Inhale. And then exhale, let's take a gentle twist. Take the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you, looking back over that left shoulder. Now allow yourself a nice deep breath in to lengthen the spine. A slow, easy breath out as you find the rotation. Actually, she's in a perfect spot for me because I get to get a nice grip here on her belly. And then inhale, let's go back up. Lift and lengthen, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Twisting the other way. So now left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Wish you all had a cute little dog behind you to hold on to. Look over the right shoulder. Extend through the spine. Create space through the spine. It's a gentle movement. You're not trying to overdo. We're just waking up the body. And then exhale. Inhale to come back. Lift and lengthen through the arms. And then exhale, let's go ahead and come into our tabletop position. So once you're in your tabletop position, make sure that your knees are hip width. And your feet are hip width. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Take a nice moment here to ground yourself. And then we'll start moving into some cats and cows. Inhale to open the heart space, lift the chest, tailbone up, shoulders back, chin up. Exhale, curl under to cat, tailbone tucks under, middle back rises, chin to chest, top of the head reaching down as the shoulders push away from each other. Inhale again to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale. And exhale. 3 more times. Inhale. Make sure that you're moving with your breath. That is what the Vinyasa practice is, movement paired with breath. So the inhale leads you into a cow. And the exhale leads you into the cat. Last one. When you're done with that last cat, come back to tabletop. Tuck the toes under, press into the hands, lift the knees, and then exhale, move your way back into your downward facing dog. So this is our first downward facing dog of the day. Let's make it nice and supple. So you want to feel kind of the subtle sensations in the body. Maybe a little bend and straightening through the knees, a little moving of the rib cage and chest. Start to find where your body feels stiff, where it feels tight, but also where it feels strong and flexible. So it might be different each day. Each time we come onto our mat, it's a moment of exploration. So we're going to just let the head hang. Let there be no tension in the neck. Let the shoulders move away from the ears. And this can be a really difficult posture. Even though we do it a lot, it can definitely trigger a lot of different emotions. So if you need a break, you need to come back to child's pose, feel free to do so at any time. There's no right or wrong way to do your practice. It's just a matter of going along with what your body is kind of teaching you today. Let's hold here another 3 deep breaths. If it's available, push the heels down towards the mat. Lengthen up through the tailbone. Reach the kneecaps up as you engage the quadriceps. Separating the shoulder blades, long extended spine, gaze towards the knees. Let the head be heavy. 1 more breath. Exhale completely. Now inhale, look forward between the hands and walk or step your feet to the top of your mat. Once you're at the top of your mat, let's take a hanging forward fold. So our hanging forward folds allow us to kind of utilize all that length that we found in our downward facing, that we found in our balasana, our child's pose. So we're going to just let the upper back hang here. And I know that this is not always the way that everyone's body looks when we hang. A lot of times when we hang, there's just a lot of tension and there's this lifting that happens. So you may look like this, and that's okay. If you look like that, bend your knees and try to flatten out your back against your thighs. So you can bend your knees as much as you need to. Once your rib cage and your thighs are connected, let your hands relax. Just let the back of the hands come to the mat, or you can hold to your opposite elbows. And then from this position, the head relaxes and softens, and you start to elevate the hips without separating the rib cage from the thigh. So try that a couple of times, maybe bending and lifting, extending and lowering, or simply swaying side to side. Hanging forward folds are an inversion. Our head is below our heart. So we are getting all the benefits here of the inversion without having to, put ourselves in a headstand or in a handstand or anything like that. And then just kind of relax into your muscles of your arms, relax into the muscles of your back. Maybe roll a little bit of weight forward to the big toes. Steady, calm breathing. As we exhale, let's go ahead and release the arms if they're interlocked. Grab yourself a block and place it in front of your feet. We're going to go for our twist. So the right hand is going to go onto the block as we lift and lengthen the spine. You don't have to use a block here. I like to use the block. Number one, because it kind of brings the earth up to me. So if I don't have the block, I feel like I have to really fold a lot deeper. And even though I have a nice forward fold, this allows me a little bit of space. From here, you're going to bend into that right knee and slightly slide your hips over to the right. As you inhale, we're going to open that left side of the body, and then we're going to look up towards your left thumb. Now, I imagine there's this line of energy that rises up through the right arm, through the chest and rib cage, all the way up to the left fingertips. So keep that line of energy active. Roll the weight forward just a little bit towards the big toes. Keep that right knee bent, that left leg nice and straight. And exhale, release, come down. Good. Take a moment. Inhale, lift the chest, halfway lift, shoulders back. Open the heart space. Maybe even look forward to stretch through the throat. And then let's do the other side. Bending into that left knee, the hips like to move towards the left. Left hand is square on the block. Line of energy rising up from the left palm, through the rib cage, through the chest, all the way up to the right fingertips. And then as you reach, keep the weight forward a little bit towards the big toes. Lengthen and stretch. Reach to the top of the head. Keep pressing strongly into that pinky toe edge of the right foot so that you can find yourself even and balanced right in the center. Exhale, slowly make your way back down. And then once more, let's take another hanging forward fold. Again, if you have the block nearby and you're close, maybe you can rest your forearms on the block or your palms on the block. In our Ashtanga practice, we do Padangusthasana and Padahastasana, which is our two standing forward folds. We use active movement by pulling on the toes or sliding the hands underneath the feet. In this practice, in our Vinyasa practice, it's a little bit more passive. We're allowing the weight to settle us down into it. So you really want to try to target kind of that lower back, tailbone, sacrum area. Let that be the highest point in your body. One more breath here. Exhale completely. You can move the block off to the side. Inhale, lift halfway. Maybe try locking out your legs, engaging your quadriceps, lifting up through your kneecaps, legs back and down. And then slowly bend your knees and let's roll up to standing. Let's get one vertebra at a time. Really round your back. Tuck in through your pelvis. Hollow out the lower navel. Start to make your way up slowly with control. Let the head be the last thing that lifts. And we're in a standing position. Good. Okay, beautiful. Let's come back to the top of the mat. Toes and heels together. Now from this position, let's take a moment to be in mountain pose. If it's hard for you to balance with your feet together, you can always have your feet slightly apart. So we're going to decide here how you want your feet. Palms face forward, shoulders back. A little different than Samastitihi. Try to feel a sense of kind of a proud lift, the lifting up through the rib cage and chest. Engaging strongly into the soles of your feet. called Pada Bandha, the bandha in the soles of our feet, similar to our Mula Bandha that we engage in the pelvic floor. Now that the soles of our feet are connected to the earth, that's where we want to feel the engagement, gripping the mat strongly, all three corners of the feet, pinky toes, the big toes, and the heels. That the arches of the feet kind of just gently lift up. Find yourself stable, gazing at one spot. Another deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale, let's raise the arms slowly. Shoulder blades roll back. Maybe we lift up through the rib cage. Maybe we look up towards the thumbs and we create a sense of openness. Not really back bending, but more elongating the body. And then exhale, fold and gently releasing as we come down to our familiar shape of a forward fold. And now a little bit different with the feet a little closer together. The hands can rest on either sides of the feet. Then the head can relax. Shoulders move away from the ears. Roll a little bit of weight forward to the toes. Inhale, lift halfway. Opening through the heart space again. Shoulders roll back. Exhale, let your hands come down to the mat. You can bend your knees so that your hands are fully flat. And then just take your right foot back. A big step. Sorry, Zane. I don't want to bother her, but she's in my way. All right, so we're going to press the back heel down, and you're going to bend into the left knee. As you're ready, grab your blocks. Place one on either side of your left foot. So we're going to start with this kind of Warrior One variation. Normally in Warrior One, obviously our torsos are lifted. So we're going to start building our Warrior One from the soles of our feet. Notice the back heel, your right heel. It needs to be down on the mat, which means there's a little opening in the right hip. That left knee is stacked right over your left ankle, and then your left thigh is as down and parallel to the floor as it's available for you. So if your butt is sticking up in the air and you're not bending into the knee, bring a little bit more weight to your hands and settle into it. Now get strong in your legs, strong and rooted through your legs. Keep the hips down. Bring one hand to the knee, other hand to the knee. Maybe we lift up. Good, very nice. Now, I like to interlace my fingers as I place my hands there. It gives me a nice connection. You can try that too. Bending into that left knee, lifting the chest, pulling the shoulders back. Let's stay here. 1, 2, pressing back to that right heel. 3, good, looks beautiful, guys. 4. Now with the 5th breath, exhale, let's bring the hands back down to the block, and we're going to straighten that left leg. Notice the distance of our feet didn't change. The left foot and the right foot are glued down. Nothing's different, only we're trying to straighten the left leg. Move the left hip back, the right hip slightly forward to even out your hips and shoulders. Now if you're good, you can stay here. If you're working on straightening your leg, keep working. If you need more height on your blocks because it's a little too difficult to get your hands down, change the position of your blocks. If you need less height, change the position of your blocks. So always remember that you have all the tools that you need to make your practice successful for you. Now, if you're feeling good, let's go ahead and kind of fold onto that left leg. So that just means dropping the rib cage down. Keep your drishti, your focus on your left big toe to move your left hip back, right hip forward slightly, and breathe here. 1, you don't have to fold, it's only an option. 2, 3, keep pressing the right heel back, don't let your feet slip, engage into your legs. 4, and 5. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale there, you can lift your right toe up, and then let's drop the right knee down to the mat. I need to move forward. See, this is so funny. Sorry, my bean. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to keep that left knee bent the same way we had it before. Same setup here. Now the hips are down still, and your right knee is on the floor, so maybe a little easier. Maybe you can come to your fingertips, lifting the chest. Maybe bring the hands onto the knees, interlacing the fingers. If it feels good, think about hips forward and down, chest, rib cage, up and back. So we're elongating the spine, almost like you're trying to create a back bend, moving your upper body away from the leg. Very nice. Good. I see you. Very good. Roll the shoulders back, dropping the hips. Lift and lengthen through the spine. Nice deep breath. Remember, warriors, right? Warriors are proud and strong. They're not like all hunched forward. There's this sense of openness that happens in our warrior pose. Good. Now, if it feels okay for you, try to release your arms. Just working on the strength of your legs. And then we're going to open the arms back and just reach. Kind of just allow yourself to open out through the front body. Inhale, maybe possibly, arms can go up. So we're dropping the right hip, we're lifting that pressing the left hip forward and down. And then exhale, hands down to the mat or to the block. And then again, we straighten that left leg. Notice nothing has changed. You can point your left toes or you can flex your left foot. Flexing the foot will target the back. Pointing the toe will target more of the front of the leg. You can do both. Now, as we hold here, we lift the rib cage, engage into the abdomen, so the drawing of the lower navel always coming in. And then just like before, if it feels okay, maybe fold over that left leg. Chin towards the shin, gazing towards left toe, shoulders back and down. 1, either pointing or flexing. 2, 3, calmly breathing. 4, and 5. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale there. And then we're going to slide that left foot back. Make our way onto tabletop with our hands on the blocks. So now we're going to go into our downward facing again, but this time using the blocks. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, move it back. Allow your feet to maybe walk in a little bit. Just be mindful that you don't walk in too much. You don't want your weight all on your feet, and you don't want your weight all on your hands. So you want to make this kind of inverted shape with your body. Once your feet are positioned and the hands are nice and glued onto the blocks, then you can finally move into that window of your arms, pressing your chest through, letting your head relax, looking towards your upper thighs. And just notice the difference here. When we use the blocks, we might need to kind of accommodate a little bit more, but ideally using the blocks gives us a little bit more space. So see if you can reach that tailbone up and back, push the heels down towards the earth, even if they never touch. It does not matter whether the heels actually touch. The goal here is to energetically move the energy of the body towards those ultimate or ideal, perhaps, location, but it's just the movement that's important. 1 more breath. Exhale completely. Okay, we're going to look forward between the hands, and now we're going to step the right foot forward between the hands, so we can repeat that whole thing on the other side. Once the right foot is forward, take a moment to pivot your left heel down to the mat. Bend into that right knee, dropping the hips. Remember, you can just start by feeling your legs here and trying to not put too much weight onto your hands. So almost like you're letting your right side rib cage rest on your thigh. Just feel that leg behind you. Start to feel into that hip behind you. And then once you feel stable through your legs, it might take a minute to do that, so don't feel like you need to rush. Then start bringing one hand to the knee, other hand to the knee, and start to come up. Now, each side is going to be slightly different. Maybe on this side, you need a little bit more time to kind of get yourself situated in the lifted position. But if you are able to interlace your fingers, press into your leg, lift your rib cage. We're going to try to move that left hip forward and down, opening through the shoulders as you press firmly into your hands and drop the hips. Good. Nice adjustments. I saw that. Lift the rib cage, open the heart space. Steady, calm breathing. Keep bending into that knee. Good job. We're almost there. 4, And 5. Exhale, we bring the hands down. And now we straighten that right leg. Notice the feet didn't really change. Nothing moved other than just the right knee went from bent to straight. Pointing down through the right toes, keeping that back heel down. Move the left hip forward, right hip back. Inhale, lift your chest. And if it feels good, exhale, fold. The fold is always optional. There's no need to do anything other than just really try to move into the subtle sensations of the body. So that's our focus. Our focus is breathing. Our focus is noticing, becoming aware. Everything else is just icing on the cake. 2 more breaths. Soften your shoulders. Get yourself to stretch here in your pyramid pose. Inhale, last one. Exhale completely. Okay, inhale, let's lift halfway. Exhale there, we're gonna pivot that left heel off the floor, bend into the right knee again, and let's drop the left knee down. Now notice that when I drop that left knee down, it's not underneath my hip. So I'm not making a 90-degree angle. That leg that was really far back away, all it's doing now is just releasing down. So make sure you make those adjustments for you so that your hips get the maximum of the pose. And again, let's just be here for a few moments. If you need the blocks a little higher, make the blocks a little higher, dropping the hips down and forward. A lot of times when we use props like blocks, we bring our awareness to where the hands are. And what I want you to think about here is your awareness should be in your legs, not so much your hands. So you should be able to kind of not need the blocks. You're just using them to help guide you. When you're ready, we're going to bring the hands onto the knee. Again, maybe interlace. Lift the ribcage back. Shoulders back, maybe a little easier to do it with the knee down. Again, that left hip moves forward and down towards that right heel. Keep extending through the spine, tall, open back, almost like you're creating a back bend. And then maybe reach the arms back, open the chest, engage here, dropping the hips down, reaching to the top of the head. Good. If it feels good, maybe the arms can come up. If the arms come up, lift the ribcage, drop the hips, shoulders roll back. Try to find your back bend. Really feel this in the back of your left hip flexor. And then exhale, let's release the hands back down, move the hips back, and just straighten the right leg. Again, pointing the toe will activate the top of the leg. Flexing the foot will activate the back of the leg. Try them both ways. Decide what you like. And then if you feel prepared for a fold, then give that a try. And hold. 1, 2, 3, shoulder blades relax. 4, away from the ears. And 5. Inhale, we lift halfway, lengthen the spine, exhale there, and then slide that foot back, come to kneeling, flatten out your blocks, and then one more time, let's take our downward facing. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, exhale, downward facing dog. So as you connect with your downward facing dog, give yourself an opportunity to check in. Am I struggling holding this pose? Is my breath labored and tired? Should I just bring my knees down and sit in Balasana and wait for the next few breaths? Am I able to hold this with integrity, with strength, and with purpose? So allow yourself to kind of just move through all of those sensations, questions, feelings. Decide what's best for you. One more deep breath here, wherever you are. And exhale completely. Inhale, look forward between the hands. Walk your feet about halfway up your mat. Let's do a seated, supported malasana. So we'll bring the block, one of the blocks behind the heels. You can also stack blocks up if you need to, and then go ahead and sit your hips down onto the block. All right. So Malasana is one of those poses that we really just need to be able to practice to move through to create the opening that we need in the hips. So you want to have your heels down on the floor. This is the ideal. If your heels are lifted up off the floor, then elevate your hips more. So maybe stack 2, 3, 4 blocks on top of each other until you can get those heels down. Now, once the heels are down, let your knees be wide here. So you are going to move the space of your torso inside of your legs. Once that space of the torso is filled in, your legs are kind of framing your body. Let's let the hands come to the mat for a moment and allow yourself a little lean forward. You might come off the block a little bit. You might need to adjust your feet a little bit. Just that small lean forward and round through the back, just like we did in cat. So tailbone tucks under, middle back pushes away, chin to chest. Not pushing into your hands at all, just letting them rest. Shoulder blades down. And then inhale, reverse that, come into the cow position. So now we're going to open up. Tailbone tilts back. You may not feel or look like you're doing anything, but you want to feel that tailbone moving back, the chest lifting, the shoulders rolling back, and then this sense of openness in the front body while keeping the knees apart. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. So move into the cat position. Let the hands kind of slide forward. Let the elbows soften. Rounding through the middle back. Inhale, moving into the cow position. Tailbone lifts or tilts back. Shoulders roll back. Chin moves up. Opening through the chest. Good job. One last time. Curl into cat. As you exhale, sway into cow. As you inhale. And then exhale, come back, lift the chest, let the elbows go inside the knees, palms together at the center of the heart, and let's find a nice little stability, centered place now. There's no arching or rounding in the back anymore. The back is nice and flat, pressing into the palms. If the feet need adjustment, feel free to do so. This pose can take a lot of patience. Sometimes it feels like we're, doing all this work and it's just, we need to come out, we need to stretch. So feel free to make any adjustments your body needs. We'll just be here another couple of breaths. Settling into the sensations that you find. However difficult or not so difficult the pose is for you, let it be what it is. Practice being the observer. Practice being aware of what you're doing without making it so personal. That's the trick. I've still yet to master that, very much so, but that is the trick. So allow yourself to observe and wonder and be open. Maybe even have a little bit of joy that seeps in as you find a sense of release, of letting go of things that no longer serve us. One more deep breath. And then exhale. Let's release the hands. Let's go ahead and bring the knees in towards each other. Feet together. And we're still sitting on our block here. We're going to let our backs relax. So let your shoulders softly move down, forehead to the knees. And just take a moment here to let all of that go. All right, so we're going to come off the block. So you're just going to, use your knuckles, your fingers, whatever you need. Come off the block. You can just sit in front of it and let it go behind you. And then come into a comfortable kind of Dandasana position. So remember we talked about in our Ashtanga class, Dandasana is the first of our seated poses. So in Dandasana position, it's almost like Samastitihi. The legs are super engaged here. This is your foundation. A lot of times it's very difficult to sit upright in this position. So feel free to use your hands, your fingertips, your arms. Feel free to use other parts of your body to keep the integrity of the legs and the integrity of the torso. So as you lift up through your rib cage, there's a hollowing out that happens in Uddiyana Bandha. So this is our solar plexus bandha. This is not Mula Bandha at the pelvic floor, but a little bit higher, drawing the energy up through the rib cage. So we find that this stays engaged the entire time, but yet we're still breathing. The diaphragm is still moving. There's a sense of lift as you inhale and a sense of lowering as you exhale. And then we allow the fingers or the palms to rest next to the hips. The shoulders roll back, the feet stay flexed, and you can keep a slight bend in the elbow, or you can try straightening your elbows. So Dandasana position is, again, like I said, the first of our seated poses. And it's a way for us to set up our seated practice. But in our vinyasa, we utilize it almost like a bridge or a crossing from standing to squatting to now sitting. All right, we're going to go for a nice, easy forward fold. So as we lean forward, let your hands kind of just walk your fingertips down towards the feet. We're not going to use our hands. We're going to let our hands rest, and we're going to use the length that we found in Dandasana to fold into Paschimottanasana. So there's this engagement of the torso and the spine as you reach yourself forward and down. One of the visualizations I really like to use is this idea of like an angel moving in, grabbing, kind of holding me by my face, by my head, and kind of pulling me forward and down. And as you kind of collect yourself in that forward and down place, let yourself relax. Once you've gone to your limit, and only you will know what that is and what that feels like, but once your limit is reached, then allow yourself to soften. There's no need to keep working. Now that you're in the position, let yourself breathe. Deep inhale, slow exhale. If you're deep in the forward fold, it feels a little tough to breathe here because your ribcage and your chest are pressing against your thighs. Remember, you can always bend your knees a little bit if the legs are keeping you from moving forward. So always making adjustments as your body needs. One more breath wherever you are. Now with the next exhale, we softly pull the shoulders back and down. And then with the inhale, we lift halfway. Let's take the right hand to the outside of that left foot. If you can grab it, grab it. If not, maybe the ankle. And let's open that left arm to the left and look over towards the left thumb. Rotating the spine and the torso. Twists are such a huge part of our vinyasa practice. They really help us to put it all together. And then exhale, let's switch. So cross that left hand over onto the right foot. Release the right hand and open up to that right side, looking towards the right thumb. Opening the body, reaching, lengthening, stretching. Deep breathing. And exhale, coming back. Maybe now you can grab both sides of the ankles or feet, lift and lengthen the chest. And now using a little bit of weight from the arms, see if you can pull yourself a little deeper into that forward fold. And then inhale slowly. Let's roll ourselves back to Dandasana position, one vertebra at a time. Let the rib cage, chest lift. Let the head be the last thing that comes up. Shoulders back and down. And exhale there. Good. And then release. All right, we're going to do some supported back bends. You can use if you have a bolster at home, you can use your bolster. Or what we'll do today is we're going to use your block. So we're going to start with the block at the lowest level to begin with. The other one, keep it nearby in case you need it for your head. So the block is going to be placed right around the middle of our backs. So the best way to do this is to kind of position it as you're going down. So maybe you need to bring it slightly down or slightly back. Keep your butt on the floor as you let your shoulder blades kind of rest onto the block, and then let your head kind of come back. There we go. If your hair is in the way, just loosen it up a little bit. All right, so now that head is down, hips are down, the block is supporting that middle arch in the back, arms relax to the side, and then you can go ahead and extend your legs. Let's not relax the legs. Internal rotation of the thighs. You can flex the feet or you can point the feet, but keep the thighs and the legs awake. Little bit of activity in the legs. But do relax your full belly, abdomen completely soft. There's this sense of openness that happens in the rib cage, but it's being supported by the block. So you don't need to open and lift. Let the block take that effort from you so that all you need to do here is just breathe. We'll be here for just a few breaths. You can stay in this position. I'll give you the option, if you like, to make this a little bit more intense. So the way that you would make this more intense is by elevating your block, making it a little higher. So if you wanted to try, hands behind the head, gently lift your head up, look forward. You can press into your elbows and then lift your block so that it is at a higher level than what you just had it at. And then again, position it the same way, kind of into that space of the shoulder blade. And again, you allow yourself to come back and down. Top of the head, again, can rest on the mat. So internal rotation of the legs, feet pointed or flexed, shoulders relaxed, let your arms be by your side. Try not to lift your butt up off the floor. Keep your whole lower half from your glutes to your heels glued down. So if it's too much, go back to the lower version. Or you can also grab the other block, place it under your head so that your head has somewhere to rest. And we'll just be here for a few breaths, letting this supported version of a back bend kind of just take over. You don't want to feel pain, but discomfort is something that's going to happen. No matter what we do, no matter how flexible or strong we get, there's always going to be a level of discomfort once we reach a certain point. So we become, again, the observers of the discomfort, and we allow ourselves some moments of breathing through the discomfort, not looking to move or adjust or change, just simply looking to be a fraction more comfortable than the last breath allowed us to be. Just a few more breaths before we come out. We're going to intensify this one more time, and not by adjusting the block, but by lifting our arms. So let's start by bringing our arms a little closer to the body, and then we'll just bring them into prayer so that the thumbs can rest on the chin, elbows in towards each other. And maybe if it's available, the fingertips can come to the floor and the thumbs can rest on the forehead. So again, we want to keep those elbows drawn in. We want to keep our butts and legs nice and rooted and grounded. And you're welcome to stay here or to start to slide your hands away from your body. And maybe they lift. Maybe you interlace your fingers, reach and point through your index fingers. And then allow yourself to reach those fingers down towards the mat. Shoulder blades move back and down. It's a little tough to speak here, but you should still be able to breathe freely. So nice deep inhales. Slow, gentle exhale. Connect with your own struggle here Try not to overdo, but find that point where you're working just enough. One more breath. As you exhale, start to bring your hands back to the forehead, thumbs against the forehead, elbows in towards each other. Settle your hips down. I know they like to lift. And then bring the fingers or the thumbs to the chin. Allow yourself a moment there. And then exhale, let the arms come down by your sides, palms facing up, and observe maybe how this is now a little easier in the body, a little bit more doable. To come out, we'll bring the hands behind the head. Fingertips can pull the head back up to center. Give yourself a moment here with the head lifted, looking to your toes. You can bend your knees, plant your feet on the floor, and then use your arms, either holding onto your legs or just using them as leverage to lift you and slowly pull you up. It's okay if the block falls off behind you. Sometimes that happens. And then once you're up, let yourself get a nice hug. Say thank you to your body. The part of your body that was pressed against the block, push that part of your body away, that middle back underneath the shoulder blades. Easy and steady breathing. And then slowly inhale, lift up. You can move the block off to the side and let's lay all the way down onto the back. So once you're all the way down onto your back, let's take a nice viparita karani, which is our legs up the wall. If you have a wall, feel free to move close to the wall so your legs can rest on the wall. Now, if you're at home, you can use any props around you, any furniture, move your mat to wherever you need it to. That's one of the beauties about practicing at home is that you have all this space to do whatever you want with. No need to worry about a studio. So as your legs are lifted, whether they're resting on an actual wall or they're just on a pretend wall, we want to relax the belly and the abdomen. So it's possible you might need to hold your thighs a little bit, or maybe use a strap to kind of keep your legs stable. If your legs are moving far away from you, almost like you're extending them out like you would in Navasana, bring them right back. Stack your feet, knees, and ankles the best you can. And then just let your arms relax by your side, soften your shoulders. Your knees should be gently soft, so the legs aren't super active, engaged, reaching, pointing. They're kind of just floating. Imagine floating legs, floating hot air balloons. That's my visual. That's what I always like to focus on. And then as soon as I do that, the legs start to take kind of a mind of their own, maybe swaying a little bit side to side or front and back a little bit, or just simply finding that flotation, that lightness in the legs. Allow yourself nice, easy movements of breath as we prepare to continue to calm the nervous system as we're closing our practice. Just surrender to what you find. So we're going to do a variation of Kalasana. Instead of lifting the hips, you're going to keep the hips and the sacrum down and just move the legs over the head. Now, if it's available, maybe you grab your calves or your ankles or perhaps maybe even your big toes. So grab something on your legs so that you can allow those legs to feel connected. And now we're going to activate the legs. So kneecaps lift, quadriceps contract, and maybe we point the toes. As soon as you point the toes, pull the shoulders back and down and press the hips down to the mat. So this is almost like a seated forward fold, but our backs are on the mat. Nice and easy, steady breathing. Legs are engaged, back is flat. And then exhale, bend the knees, open the knees to the sides, and just take a happy baby. Keep holding on to the big toes. Shoulders roll back. So the happy baby, the knees are bent, the feet are apart, the soles of the feet are pointing up to the ceiling. And then let's just drop the right knee down to the mat as we move slightly to the right, back through to center, and then drop the left knee down to the mat, and then back through to center. So alternate here a couple times, dropping the right knee, back to center, dropping the left knee, back to center. It takes some awareness of core to gently rock from side to side. Because sometimes if you go too far, you kind of feel like you plop down, you're like, oh, I can't get back up, I'm stuck. So engage into your core and use your pelvis to drive the movement. Pelvis is a kind of a really big, heavy bone in our bodies. Let that be your driver. And then slowly make your way back to center. Once you're at the center, let your heels come down, soles of the feet together, hold on to the edges of your feet, maybe even interlace your fingers for a floating Baddha Konasana. So the knees are apart, the big toes and the soles of the feet are touching, the shoulders relax, and steady, calm, deep breathing. One more breath. And exhale, release the feet. Let the feet come down to the mat. Relax the arms. Let's take constructive breath. So feet apart, knees together, hands at the belly or the heart. And relax into your shoulders. You can adjust your head, shoulders, whatever you need here. Come back to your awareness of breathing each time you're in the state of the asana. So if we're moving through the transition, we're really working on either inhaling or exhaling. But once we're in the pose itself, calm your breathing, deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. And we'll finish up with one more twist. So with the feet apart, let your arms come out to the sides, palms facing up. Separate your knees, but keep your feet just as wide as they were before. Drop both knees to the right and gently take your gaze to the left. So it's your feet are really wide apart, as wide as your mat. Relax into your shoulders. Let your inside leg, in this case your left leg, be heavy. Pull down through the left knee, quad, and shin all the way so that you can really find your foot. And then inhale, let's take the knees back to center, head back to center if you need to adjust the hips. And then we'll drop the knees to the left and look to the right. Your feet are really wide apart, as wide as your mat. The inside leg draws down, stays heavy. So the inside leg on this side is the right leg. Widen your feet a little bit more too. And relax. Let your arms reach out to the sides. Let there be no tension in your arms. Let yourself feel calm here, peaceful. Try to activate a little bit more through that right leg, drawing the energy down. Couple more breaths. And then with the inhale, we come back through to center, even everything out. And let's give ourselves a nice squeeze, a nice hug. Hold on to your opposite elbows or just simply hold on to your knees. You can rock a little bit here, side to side, or maybe even move the knees in a circle or half circle, giving the lower back a little massage, a little release. And then when you feel good, you feel even on both sides, go ahead and extend the legs, relax the arms, take Shavasana, your final rest. Let your feet flop out to the side so that there's no tension in the legs. Let your arms relax by your sides, the palms are facing up. There's this gentle softness that happens with this first exhale of Shavasana. You feel that your body is just simply melting. The muscles relax, the tendons relax, your joints relax, the ligaments relax, the skin relaxes. Every cell in your body relax. Gently begin to bring awareness back to this body, the subtle sensations within the body, back to this next in breath or out breath. Perhaps adding gentle movement to the fingers and the toes, the hands, the feet, wrists and ankles. And maybe like a full body yawn, take a nice deep inhale, reach the arms overhead, reach the feet. Elongate the body, and as you exhale, bring everything in. Give yourself a nice squeeze. One more, thank you. We'll roll over onto the side and take a moment. You use your arm like a pillow or your hand, and just allow yourself a moment onto your side body here. As you're ready, we can press into the top arm, making our way up to a seated position. Take your time, there's no rush. If you have your pillow nearby, you can sit on top of your pillow. And so as we settle ourselves onto our seated posture, the yogis were smart enough, brilliant enough to understand that physical, as beings that are traveling around in these physical bodies, we really need to get to the deeper awareness of ourselves through the physical existence without getting caught up in it, without getting caught up in the drama of the sensations and the emotions, but instead utilizing our minds and our intellect to move past it, understanding there's something greater, bigger, beyond that, which is the spirit, the self. So as we finish our practice today, after moving, stretching, lengthening, strengthening, what is left? What is what connects all of it? Our breath is one. Our consciousness, our awareness is two. See if you can find that space of stillness within that stillness. There is a ocean of bliss that lives within. It cannot be found out there. Allow yourself to be with whatever rises up, whatever is present. With the next inhale, we'll draw our palms together at the center of the heart. That union of body, of mind, and spirit, the yoking or the yoga that is connecting all of these aspects together, awakening to our true selves. And we'll seal our practice with the sound Om. Inhale to begin. Om.